Hafa Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI. Effective today, February 3rd at 8 a.m., a proclamation by President Donald Trump went into effect regarding entry of immigrants and non-immigrants who pose a risk of transmitting the coronavirus.
The proclamation was issued on last Friday, and basically what it means for the CNMI is that travelers at foreign airports, so they're going to be split up into two groups, right? So the two groups are those that were in China within the last 14 days and those that were not. So if you were in China within the last 14 days and you are a U.S. citizen, then what will happen to you is that you are going to have your flight rebooked and you're going to be sent to a designated airport that's stated in the presidential proclamation. Right now it's 7 airports. I've heard that it would be expanded to 11. And so, for example, if you were traveling to Indianapolis, Indiana, you would be rebooked to Chicago, Illinois.
The airline is who will flag an individual that has been in China in the last 14 days. For those traveling to the CNMI, the rebooked flight location will be the International Airport in Honolulu, Hawaii.
There's enhanced screening at these airports. I think that, there's more of a CDC presence and a local hospital presence at these bigger airports. And so they'll do their screening there.
U.S. Customs and Border Patrol will be responsible locally. 3 airlines have suspended flights in February: Sichuan Airlines, China Eastern Airlines, and Beijing Capital Airlines. Sichuan Airlines and China Eastern Airlines are until further notice, and Beijing Capital Airlines are suspended until the end of February. CPA states if an individual somehow arrives into the CNMI and has visited China in the last 14 days, they will be referred to CHCC, who will then decide the next steps that will be taken, including isolation. 20-year-old Travis Camacho was booked at the Department of Corrections. According to the Department of Public Safety, a 911 call was received reporting a pedestrian that was holding a T-shirt across his forehead and had blood smeared across his face and body in front of KFC and Taco Bell in Susupe. The victim stated to police that he was parked near Chalankanoa Post Office when 3 juveniles approached him asking if he was a taxi driver. The male juveniles flashed money to the victim, jumped in the vehicle, and directed him to the beach side behind Aquarius Beach Tower. DPS states as soon as the victim stopped the vehicle, one of the juveniles reached forward and began to choke the victim for about 2 minutes, and the other 2 juveniles repeatedly struck the victim in the head. The victim then bit the forearm of the juvenile, strangling him, where he was let go and got out of the vehicle and ran toward the street. The victim stated he saw his vehicle leaving the area and heading north. Around 3:28 a.m., an officer found the vehicle driving along Pow Pow Beach. The officer pulled the vehicle over and noticed blood splattered throughout the front of the seats. The operator of the vehicle identified himself as Travis Camacho, who told police he was walking through Chalankanoa when his friend approached him with the vehicle and he got in. Camacho then asked to use the vehicle to go to the store and is when he was pulled over. Camacho was taken to CHCC as he had cuts and bruising, which he stated he was in a street fight that afternoon, and was then taken to the Department of Corrections. DPS states they are unsure if Camacho was involved in attacking the victim. For more news, visit SaipanTV.com. For KSPN2 News, I'm Ashley McDowell.